What's up, everyone? Blue Line here, sitting at my editing desk, and I want to talk about my 2020 setup. Let's get into it. Right here, boom, talking about the Transtech Laser S frame, as this frame is freaking awesome. Let's talk about some of the specs real quick. We have 6mm front and back arms, extremely durable arms from what I've tested. And with 6mm, that's just insanely crazy thick. Should be extremely durable. The back arms are 6-inch arms. The front arm are 5-inch. It's going to be a hybrid setup. They say it's supposed to be better in turns. I haven't been able to actually personally test this too much. I haven't been flying my old setup and this setup back to back, but I can say this thing flies awesome. Now, as far as the motors go, let's talk about the powerhouse. I'm using the Zing E 2207 2750 kV motors. Yes, that's right, 2750 kV. I'm still rocking 4S. Guys, I'm not pushing it to the max of 4S yet, and I cannot justify spending the extra money that the 6S batteries cost. Plus, I would have to replace all the motors on my quad, so I'm just sticking with 4S again this year. I'm going to try to get a lot faster on 4S. Push the limits. Let's see what happens. Let's get into the electronics. So right off the bat, we're going to talk about the ESC because it is really good in my opinion. It's going to be the iFlight, the Sussex E 45 amp ESC at a price point of only $29.99. $29.99, you're getting this awesome performing ESC. Yes, it's on BL Hell Yes. Oh well, upload the Jazz Maverick ESC firmware so you can run RPM filtering and you are good to go. With a price point of an ESC at $29.99, I could buy a lot of these. I've been using this one, and I've only purchased one so far because I've kind of been testing, but I've been using this one for a month and a half. It has held up to every single crash that I've put it through, pushing it on the track, pulling a lot of amps from this 2750 kV motors that I have on here. It's holding up very well. I'm very pleased with it. So it is going to be my go-to ESC this season. Now, the flight controller that I have on this specific quad is the DYS F4 Pro flight controller. Now, on my other quad, I'm running the CL Racing F4 flight controller, which I'll most likely be running those this year since DYS has gone out of business. But usually with flight controllers, unless you have super special features, they're kind of all really the same thing. They do the same thing. They run the same version of Betaflight. So changing out that piece of gear isn't really truly going to matter as much, in my opinion, to me. But anyway, I'm running on this quad the DYS F4 flight controller and the other one the CL Racing F4. Now, I was last season running the Mach 3 VTX, but I decided this year I wanted to try something new. So I did a little bit of research on what new VTXs have came out, and I've come up with the Rush FPV VTX. The Rush Tank Racing Edition is what I have installed on this quad. Now, I've only purchased one of these because I'm testing, but it's freaking amazing. It's doing such a good job that I'm going to swap out the VTXs on all my other quads to the Rush Tank Racing VTX. I really like it. Now, the last part on the quad, as far as the electronics go, is going to be the receiver. I'm running an XM Plus receiver. Guys, I don't need any kind of telemetry. I'm running these things around the track, beating them up. I don't need telemetry to do that. So I just got the cheap receiver, XM Plus, calling it a day. Now, as far as my VTX antenna goes, this is going to be the Furious FPV Rush antenna. It's just a little stubby that's fairly cheap. You can get two of them for like 15 bucks. I haven't broken one yet, so that's one of the reasons why I'm still running this. It's the same exact one I ran last season, all season. And yeah, no issues with video or anything. Now, the camera I'm running is going to be the Foxeer Aero Micro Pro. It's a cheap $20 camera. Last season, I broke a bunch of cameras, so I'm not really trying to spend a lot of money on cameras this year. And the Aero Pro, you get a good enough image to see them gates with a 1.8mm lens. Between the price of this camera and how many I broke last year, I don't want to shell out a bunch of money in cameras, so I settled on this camera and it's going to do some good. So yes, this is my setup for this year, 2020 racing. This is my quad. Let's talk about some of my other gear. As far as radio goes, I'm using the FrSky QX7. So the QX7 is the radio that I use since the beginning of my inception into this hobby. Now, it looks a little bit different than a stock QX7 that you would normally buy from the store, but that's because I did a little bit of cosmetic upgrades as well as hardware upgrades, and I'm going to talk about them a little bit and how they actually helped me become a better flyer. So, let's talk about some of the cosmetic upgrades. I obviously put this blue line right here because, you know, that's my name. I'm going to put a blue line on something. I have to. But anyway, yeah. So I got this blue line right here. I'm going to try to get a close-up, but I also painted these circle tie-downs blue. Now, I'd done this a year ago. They're kind of worn out a little bit, but I'll try to get a close-up for you there. I do have, for my freestyle quad, the FrSky R9 system. So I do have that installed with the Super 8 antenna, and that's only on my freestyle quad. I did paint the neck strap holder blue as well. I'll try to get a close-up on that. Now, the most important upgrade, in my opinion, that's really helped me become a better pilot and really fly around that track a lot better, is going to be the race gimbals. Now, these race gimbals have a shorter throw than the stock gimbals that comes on the QX7. I think the stock gimbals have a 60-degree throw, while these only have a 45. What that allows me to do is I have less throttle travel, so I'm able to get up on it a little bit more. I really didn't notice a loss in resolution as far as my stick travel. I've done quite a bit of testing over this last year and decided these race gimbals are really worth the money. So I went ahead and actually upgraded the race gimbals on both sides of my transmitter. Now that's it for the transmitter. Let's talk about the next thing, and that's going to be the goggles. Now, I was running last year Dominator V3s. I bought them on FPV Marketplace from a guy who installed the power button. It was really cool. I really enjoyed that power button, and I paid for like $200 for them. This was like 2 years ago. But I did decide to buy a pair of HDOs when the HDO2s came out. Every goggle that you can think of flooded the market, and I was able to get the pair of HDOs with rapid fire already installed and these two antennas for $350. I went around and sold my Dominator V3 goggles for $250, so essentially I upgraded to a new pair of goggles and a rapid fire module with some awesome antennas for $100. I couldn't beat that, so I had to jump on it when I had the opportunity. So yes, that right there is my setup for 2020. I can't wait for this race season. I am so excited to put packs and laps down on the track and make good content for you guys. If you guys liked what you see, hit that subscribe button, show some support, follow me, watch me kick some ass, and also get my ass kicked this year. Hope you guys enjoy.